Hello. Welcome back to the show. It's Shane Carter here. As always, today is Thursday, the 7th of May, and I'm here with you for the next 15-20 minutes. And we're just gonna chat away about sports, about news, about anything I found kind of something that tickled my fancy, if I should say so myself. But anyway, so let's kick off the show. Let's just talk about some news. The big news that's happening today is, of course, the general election that's happening over in the UK at the moment now. As you can tell by my accent, I'm not from the UK, I'm from Ireland. But it's very interesting looking at elections in different countries. I feel like it kind of it will affect us in the long term, because obviously we have a very close connection with Britain, and a lot of countries have a very close connection with Britain, so we won't be the only ones affected by this decision. I'm just after looking at a poll about 5 minutes ago on BBC. They're doing a live tracking poll thing. I know, very good explanation there, Shane. Yeah, live tracker, and basically it was so close at the top. I think it was Labour around 34% of the seats, while the Conservatives are around 33. I think that's the way it was. It was 34-33. Now obviously that doesn't take into account undecided voters, and there's other factors that go into that as well, but that's what I read anyway. It's looking now like it will probably be Labour that will be elected in my opinion. I reckon they'll probably be elected in. I'd say that they'll be the ones to be in government next year anyway. That's in my opinion. Obviously with the poll there, it showed it's very close at the top, so anything can happen, but I do think that Labour will probably be in government next year in the UK under Ed Miliband. He's like the funniest looking politician I've ever seen. It's just his mouth, it's too big for his face. He has such an expressionate face that it's everything. He's just very unphotogenic, which is funny. That picture of him eating a bacon sandwich is priceless. I've literally seen that picture about 7 times, and each time I look at it, I break down laughing, because it just looks so. It's the bloke's eating a bacon sandwich and his mouth is just like spread open. It's so funny. So yeah, but that's kind of what I took from the election. Who's going to look the funniest in government? David Cameron's already a funny looking bloke, but Ed Miliband, oh Jesus, I just want to see him in government just so I can see him on the telly. So loads. So yeah, it's looking like it's probably going to be Labour in the government next year. I read something interesting as well yesterday. It said that they're probably going to be forming a coalition with the Lib Dems. Obviously Nick Clegg is the leader. I don't know much about them now. From what I've heard, they're not too good. That's just what I've heard. Now I couldn't tell you why they're not too good, but I've just heard they're not great. Labour as well. It's kind of like pick the best of a bad bunch. I think it is in this election. I think that's what it's going to be like for Ayers next year in Ireland. God, I don't know who to vote for. I honestly don't want to vote for anyone, because then I will feel responsible for just being a part of ruining this country. It's already in a state, but like there's no one out there that I would like to vote for. I'd like to see a good leader take over government in the UK. I just want to see someone come in and just looking at Nigel Farage, like, considering he's not even in the running to be Prime Minister, is just absolutely ridiculous. That party UKIP is so dodgy. It's just, if they got voted in, I think I'd give up on people altogether. It's just they're it's. Now, I'm not saying Nigel Farage is racist, or I'm not saying any politicians that are in that party are racist. I'm saying the people that follow that party are racist. I wouldn't say a majority, but there's a lot of heads in that party that you don't want involved in that party. And I honestly think that it'll just give people more of a right to be discriminative and racist if the UKIP party get in. Like, the fact of the matter is, we're in Europe. England are in Europe. When you're in Europe, you must open your borders to other countries in Europe. That's just the way it is. So that means that people should have the right to come and go and work in that country, since you've agreed to be in Europe. If you agree with that opinion or not, it's up to you. I find that I should be able to go to Spain if I want. Likewise, someone in Spain should be able to come over to here, and they should be able to work, do what they want, because, you know, we're in Europe, and we've agreed to the terms of the European Union that we open our borders to other countries, neighbouring countries. The truth is, people do want to be in Europe and England, in the UK, and if they didn't, then UKIP would have been voted in, but they're probably not going to be voted in. Having to see him in government would have been would be upsetting, because it'd be like we're going back rather than going forward, and we don't want to go back to this whole discrimination, this whole racism, all that crap. You know, you don't want to go back to it. And I think UKIP would have been kind of the beginning of a bad road for England. Happy that they're losing popularity now. So yeah, that's really all I wanted to say on that issue. I don't really know much about the UK politics. From what I do know, I know that you guys over in England have a tough decision ahead, and it's going to be like us next year. We're just going to have to hope for the best and expect the worst, I suppose. You know, there's really no one I can see that I would like to having government in Ireland anyway. That's just my opinion. Hopefully something comes out of the woodwork and like shows itself as being a good ideas and good legislation for the country. I'm very undecided. So yeah, that was the big news that's happening today. Let's move on to some sports news. The biggest news of the day was, now this is just in me head, I really don't care about general news like politics and all that. Sports is where I come alive. So yeah, call me a me head. I really am. I just don't. That stuff bores me. Although I do like talking about it. I rarely look into it unless it kind of directly affects me. Like I know about British politics. I know leaders. I know parties. I kind of have an idea of who's good and who's bad. But other than that, I don't really know. So excuse my ignorance if I was in that last segment of the show there. But I'll move on to sports now. Hopefully something I know more about. I'm confident in my knowledge. So yeah, hopefully I can be more forthcoming to you and give you more understanding and knowledge of what's happening currently out there. So the first story that I read, obviously the biggest story of the day, is Man United have agreed terms with Memphis Depay. I apologise. Memphis Depay has been in, I pronounced it wrong again, but I'm just going to say Memphis Depay because that's why I'm pronouncing it, and fuck you all. Memphis Depay has been on Louis van Gaal's radar since he took over United. He has been targeting him, and it was kind of coming that we would see Depay going to United. I called it last season. I thought they would have bought him last season, but they didn't. Very, very good boy for United if they sorted out the defence first. I don't know why Van Gaal is still buying more attackers when you have a defence that consists of Phil Jones and Smalling as your two main centre-backs. Now, I know Smalling has done well this season. He's done alright considering what has happened at United. But United need just a big name in that back four. They need a Hummels. They need someone to fill the hole in that defence that a player like Jones might create. So yeah, I really think that Louis van Gaal is doing it wrong again. Now, the transfer window hasn't even opened yet, and United are swimming in money, so obviously they're going to be buying more players. But, this is just, if I was a United fan, although it's a great buy for them, although, he's a brilliant player, great prospect for the future, I really think that he's gone in the wrong direction with these transfers from now anyway. Of course, I don't know if it's going to change come July, but from what I see now, he's moving in the wrong direction considering transfers. He needs to be working back, and he needs to be working back to the front from the defence down, and he might even have to look for a goalkeeper this year, so that might be even more money that they're going to have to spend. He's probably hoping Tottenham don't get Champions League, so they'll get Lloris on the cheap. But yeah, like I said, very weird transfer, very weird. Weird one. I think they're working around. Not weird. That's it. Oh, what did they buy him for? It was weird the way he's going about his transfer business. I think he really should have started from the back and moved forward, just to even give United fans hope that they will sign a good defender. I think they will. I think you will get Hummels. If any United fans are listening, I think you will get Hummels, and I think you might get another centre back as well. United might get another centre back. He's definitely need a right back. That's in my opinion a right full. United really need a decent player in that position. There's not many of them going, but I'm sure Van Gaal will look around and pick out the right one. Like Van Gaal, although I've criticised him, well, it sounds like I've criticised him there. He does know what he's doing when it comes to buying players. Of course. That might sound stupid considering Falcao, Di Maria. I really do think he does know what he's doing when it comes to the transfer situation at United. And I think, United fans can rest assured that they will get a defender, and they will get another midfielder, and maybe a goalkeeper, and also maybe a striker. Because as I said, these are swimming in money, and there's no shortage of that. The only thing that would be stopping Van Gaal would be, I'd say, the board, maybe the fans, but I think they're leaving him to do whatever he wants, really, considering the transfers. He's bringing in the players that he wants, and he's doing it how he wants to do it. But as I said, he needs to work from the back to the front, and I think that goes for every team. I think you really need to focus on your defence before you focus on your attack, because defenders are hard to come by, and a good defender comes around once in a while, and you really need to snap them up, and you have to have a good back four to deal with teams, because if you don't, then the whole system's going to fall apart without a good back four and a goalkeeper. So I think that's crucial. Next story of the day I read on Sky Sports there earlier. Yaya Toure is 90% sure that he will leave City come this summer. Surprise, surprise. No birthday cake for Yaya again this year. But he'll probably go to Inter Milan, and he won't be the only City player that I think will go to Inter Milan. I think Samir Nasri will probably go to Inter Milan, mainly because Roberto Mancini is there, and I've heard Yaya Toure has a good relationship with Mancini. Likewise with Nasri, they both like Mancini, and Inter Milan have the money to go out and buy these players now, So why not? I think they would be a great boy for Inter Milan. Yaya Toure in particular. It's obvious Yaya Toure doesn't want to be at City. People are saying, oh, he's lost it. He hasn't lost it. He just doesn't want to play there. Like, if you watch him, he still has the vision and he still has the technique, but he's just he's not moving. He's stagnant in his position, and he's not going anywhere because he doesn't want to move and he doesn't want to get involved in the game. That's really it. Mancini would like Toure as he would like Nasri. I can see the two of them going this year. If not Inter Milan, I'd probably say PSG. Toure would go to PSG. I don't know about Nasri yet. I can't imagine him staying in the Premier League. I think he will go to Inter Milan, and as I said, so will Toure. But 90% sure that he will leave City. That's what I've read earlier on. Another interesting bit of news: Bale will stay at Real Madrid according to his agent. Obviously, he's picked up a lot of stick over the past few months from Madrid fans. Madrid fans are just, they really don't know what they have. Like, they have got like one of the best teams in Europe, if not the best at the moment. The best squad. Well, Bayern Munich probably had the best squad, but Real Madrid are up there. Top 3 best teams, best squads in the world. They're complete, and Madrid fans just really, like, try being an Arsenal fan for 2 weeks. Do you know what I mean? Like, these Madrid fans, they wreck me head because they really show players the exit door, and they don't give players a chance, really. Like, if a player, Gareth Bale, okay, he had a stinker there the other night, but that was his first game back from injury. And if you're a fan of football, you know that any player that comes back from injury is going to take at least 2 games to kind of come back into their stride and get back into their game. You don't play them in the semi-final of the Champions League in an important game. Like, I know Gareth Bale's a huge player and I know he's crucial for Real Madrid, but you don't do that with any player. Like, if it's their first game, it's his first game back from injury, you rest them and you wait for the second leg. You know, like, they do have players to fill his shoes. Granted, not as good as Bale, but the players are there and they're just not getting utilised. And Bale is then getting criticised by fans, saying that he's no good, he's crap, which is complete bollocks, because Bale is one of the most talented players I've ever seen. He's a complete player. He's a complete player, and for Real Madrid fans to be criticising him, it's not on. Like, they seem to forget the important goals he scored from last season as well. I know every season has to be taken, you have to take each season by season, but you know, you have to kind of give a player time as well. If a player doesn't perform well one game, wow, you know, okay, you paid 100 million for him, alright, fair enough, but he is only human at the end of the day, and although he's just leaking talent, he is only human. And the truth is, he will slack off some days, and other days he will perform very well. And sadly, the days he will perform well will be the days that he will pick up criticism as well, saying, oh, it's about time, it's this and that. And then, of course, you're just going to sink his confidence more. But, as I said at the start, Bale is looking likely to stay at City. Or, sorry, not City. Real Madrid. Apologies. I was exciting City fans there. But yeah, so more than likely he'll be staying at Real Madrid. If he'll stay beyond next season, I couldn't tell you. Depending on the reception he gets coming into the end of this season, maybe into next season. But like we've seen before, agents have a tendency to say things and then say one thing and another thing happens. That always happens. But I suppose that's just part of the game, isn't it? So, of course, I can't tell you for certain if Bale will go or stay, but it's looking likely that he will stay now in the summer. So, yeah, that's really that news. I suppose one more bit of sports news that I've seen. Tony Adams, Arsenal legend, my favourite ever player. I love Tony Adams. I think he's a brilliant player. Great captain, great leader. He was exactly. Players should look at him today and just stand back and just take everything in. Just watch him and take everything in, because this guy was an absolute legend. He was a hero. He scored important goals, stopped important goals. He was just he was an all-round brilliant player. As I said, great captain, great leader. And there was talk of him taking over Aston Villa. Obviously, Aston Villa have gone through a few problems this season. They're kind of turning it around to now being in the final of the FA Cup and getting a good string of results together. And it's looking like Tony Adams is trying to get together 150 million. Him together with a Chelsea executive. The Chelsea executive wasn't named, but him and a Chelsea executive are trying to string together 150 million pounds to take over Aston Villa. And basically, I think this would be brilliant. Tony Adams, as I said, is a legend, a hero, but not only that, he's a footballer and he understands football. And I think that's what more clubs need. You need to have football clubs run by footballers. That's what you need. You can't have these big businessmen coming in that only want to make money for themselves. That ruins it. But Tony Adams will come in and he will do, I think he will do a great job as the Villa if he takes over the club. He'll turn the club in the right direction. He knows what he's doing when it comes to football. He knows what he's talking about. He will be the perfect manager for Villa, and I think Villa fans should be very excited that they are even linked with Adams, because footballers, as I said, should run football clubs. That's just the way it is. They're the only ones that they've been through they know a football club inside and out. They know how things work. They know how things run. So why not have them run the club? I don't see why that is a bad idea in any way. I think that's a great. It would be a great decision on Villa's part to have Tony Adams as the chairman of the club, or the owner of the club. So yeah, that's really all the sports news today. The last thing I wanted to talk about today, just going off topic a bit. Sorry if I'm going to bring the mood down a bit, but this has been bugging me for the past year or two. It's a topic that's kind of close to home, and it's regarding the equality referendum vote on the 22nd of May. I seen the campaign posters and the people on television and everything about this referendum being advertised. It absolutely sickens me. It really does. The no side. I don't even know how there can be a no side in this referendum vote. To me, if you don't see that you should be able to do what you want, how you want, when you want, as an adult in a civilized society, then you shouldn't be here. You really shouldn't. Who are you to tell someone they can't get married, or they can't do this, or they can't do that? Who are you? What, you think if someone gets married it's going to affect you, is it? Seeing two men walk down the road holding hands it's going to affect your children, or it's going to affect you? It won't. It will just mean the other person's happy and you are a bitter scumbag. You are a bitter arsehole because you can't see that someone's happy and you can't allow them to be happy. What's happening now is, with this whole no side, people saying that it's gonna change family values or all this crap. It is not. It's just people making excuses because they're just ignorant arseholes. They have a backward state of mind, and they feel that we should live in a society that is just controlled by rules and the way they want it. Well, that's not the way it should be. And this vote on the 22nd of May, there shouldn't even be a vote. To think that I should have to vote on someone's happiness it sickens me. To think that I feel I don't have the right to vote in this referendum. I feel that, of course, yes, I'm with the yes side. Of course I am. But the truth is that I feel that I shouldn't have the right to vote in this referendum because I am voting on someone's happiness. And whether I'm a yes or no, that doesn't matter. The fact is that we should not have the right to vote on someone's happiness. This should be common knowledge that everyone should be able to do what they want, when they want, how they want, with who they want. If you're gay, I'm sorry that you had to witness all those no posters around, all those sick no posters, all these gobshites in town telling people to vote no, all these people on television. I'm sorry you had to witness that. I'm sorry. But what's happening in this country and across the world is horrible. People are treated like they're scum. It's like we're back in the 1800s again, when women couldn't vote, when black people were slaves. If you were a Jew, you would be executed. It's like we're going back to that. Of course, it's not to that extreme, but to gay people, it is kind of similar to how these people in history have felt. And to think that we have not learned from our mistakes and we have not learned from the mistakes of the past, it sickens me. It really sickens me. Now, of course, as I said, I will be voting yes in this referendum. I encourage you all to vote yes. Please, everyone, get out and vote. Do not let these no fuckers win. That's all they are, fuckers. And they will be fuckers for the rest of their life, and they will be stubborn, bitter bastards. And you won't be able to change that. But the good news is, it is the younger generation that are swaying towards the yes side, where the older generation that will soon be gone, thank fuck, are swaying towards the no side. It's the backward thinking people that are going to be gone in the next few years anyway, that are voting no. Whereas the young generation, me and you listening to this podcast, will hopefully vote yes. And we'll see that everyone should be equal and everyone should have the right to do what they want. Because this is ridiculous, considering I have to vote on whether someone should get married or not. To think that anyone has the right to vote on someone's happiness makes me sick. I'm getting very angry here, and my mind is getting clouded, and I'm kind of losing track of what I want to say, because I have so much to say on this topic. Like I said, it hits home to me. Personally, I am not gay. I do have a lot of family and friends that are, however. And I feel that they have to witness this every day, and I don't know how they feel, and I can't imagine how they feel. But it must be horrible for them, considering the trouble and pain they've gone through in their life to come out. I know people that it took them 16 or 17 years to come out of the closet, to come out as gay. It took them 16 or 17 years because they were too afraid of getting bullied. And that's exactly what this is. It's just bullying. It's you thinking that you're bigger than someone else. It's you thinking that you're more important than someone else, when you're not. No one is more important than anyone. Everyone is on a level playing field on this planet. Everyone. Forget about power structure. Forget about everything. Everyone's on a level playing field. For you to think that you're able to tell someone that they can't get married because it will affect you or your children, or I don't know what other bollocks you're coming up with, is very selfish, first of all, and is backward thinking and shouldn't be. It just shouldn't be taught. It shouldn't be said. People should be allowed to get married no matter what. People should be allowed to be with who they want, because it makes them happy. That's the way it should be. But it's not, because we have these backward thinking people. They live in the past and they're not seeing the way forward, and no one's going to change that. So I encourage you all, please vote on the 22nd of May for this marriage equality. As I said, it sickens me that I have to say that sentence. Please vote for marriage equality. Please vote. It's turned into a spectacle. I can't believe it. Someone's happiness is turned into a show, a spectacle. Fair enough. Okay, if you want to vote no, that's fine. Vote no. But if you want to see the way forward, and if you want to see the world be a better place, vote on the 22nd. That's all I really wanted to say on that. I needed to get that off my chest. It's been bugging me, and I'm sorry if it sounded very incoherent or it sounded like I didn't know what I was talking about. It's just I have so much to say on this topic that I can't put it all into words. I can't get it all out of my head because there's so much that I want to say. And thank you very much for listening to the show. I will be back with you probably next week. Hope you enjoyed the show, first of all, and please go out and vote on the 22nd. And I hope you hear what I say, and I hope it sways your opinion. Just don't be a backward thinking fool. Please vote on the 22nd. I've been Shane Carter. You've been listening to the Shane Carter Show. Thanks very much. Please subscribe to the show if you haven't already. And if you're listening on YouTube, please drop me a like, and I will be sure to talk to you again soon. Thanks very much for listening, and I'll be back soon.